So those who are new here, we always go 4 through 1. So we will start in the basement with the Chicago Bears. Look, I do think they made strides. I like DJ Moore. I don't love Claypool, but I think he's serviceable as a 3, Darnell Mooney being their 2. I think it's at least a competent wide receiver core.
Yeah.
They should be able to run the football somewhat decent. Offensive line is getting better, although not great. Justin Fields, I just worry, can he hit the layups, right? I'm not worried, can he make the spectacular run and sometimes the occasional really nice throw? Yeah, but can he not miss like the 5 or 6 plays built into the game where it's like screen passes, swing passes, slants that are there, right? Like the throws that you should hit more times than not.
Like
that
the
he
mundane
hasn't
stuff.
been. Yeah, and he hasn't been doing that, so I think that's my concern. And then the defense is good, but it's not special. I think some of the moves and some of the people they pay are a little overrated and a little overvalued. So good, improving on the right trajectory, but I don't think they're ready to compete for a playoff spot quite yet, even in the weaker NFC.
Yeah, I don't think so either. This is a team that's always been a little slower. I mean, they had that one season. The season the Steelers started 11-0. I think the Bears started like 6-0 or something like that, or 5-1.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. And we both said like that's
gonna return to normal, and it did. And even in this season, I mean, could they maybe get off to a little bit of a hot start? Maybe. I mean, early season football is so different. And that's the one thing that we have to always keep in mind when we're doing these divisional predictions, is that there's 2 seasons in football. There's the first season, which is through week 8, and then the second season, which is the rest of the remaining 9. And then I would say
there's the third for some of the teams that make the playoffs.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't expect much from the Chicago team whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. In third place, oh man, they're gonna come after us. The Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Look, there's a lot to like here. Okay, all right, buddy. Okay, the coach, like the coach a lot, right? Do I think he's special? It's yet to be seen. It's really hard to judge a coach when it's like you have a Hall of Fame quarterback that's been running your offense now for 3 years. So it's hard to. We need to see him outside of that, but I do think he's a promising young coach. I like their run game a lot. I think they always have good offensive lines. They have emerging talent at wide receiver. I do think Christian Watson could be a big time one at some point in his career in this league. The defense has some talent. I think they lack pass rush. I don't love their linebackers. Jair Alexander should have a better year on the back end. This all leads back to the one glaring problem that I just don't know how they solve, and it's the quarterback position.
Jordan Love.
I don't know what I'm getting out of Jordan Love, and all signs point to I'm not going to like what I get out of Jordan Love.
Yes. I mean, we talked about it, was it last week? Last week you had the rant on that?
Yes,
temper expectations.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And when that's coming out of the front office of the organization, it's generally not a good sign. Look, like you said, it's a fine roster. It's enough to compete in the NFC. But without the right guy at quarterback, you're not going to do anything as an NFL franchise.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have the best team in the world, and you're not going to win anything major. You're not going to, especially in this situation, right? It's not like they have a roster to the strength of like a San Francisco where it doesn't really matter who's the quarterback. Just, don't screw it up. Don't crash the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Just keep it on the road. Don't throw a ton of bad timed picks, right? You can throw a pick here and there, but like for the most part, just let the roster take care of itself.
Yeah.
Green Bay isn't to that point yet where they still hinge on the quarterback.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I mean, so you said without an elite quarterback, like even look at a quarterback who we view as top 12, Kirk Cousins hasn't won anything either, only one playoff win, right? So it's tough to win in this league without a star quarterback. Second in the division here, the Detroit Lions at 9-8. Now, they also went 9-8 last year. I think they're going to be a better football team slightly. I think the wins are going to be a little bit more emphatic. They're going to be in more games.
Maybe to 10-7. They might be able to be.
It could be close, right? I think they have a chance to win the division. I do have them making the playoffs at 9-8. And we're going to talk about coach. I think Dan Campbell's going to do a very, very nice job. I do like Goff with protection. Goff's very, very good. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield should be good. Again, he's a rookie, so we don't know.
Yeah.
I think Amon-Ra St. Brown might be one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league because he doesn't have the physical stature of a 1, but production-wise, he is every bit of a number 1 wide receiver in this league. And again, back to the offensive line, very good. Penei Sewell, Ragnow, like they have guys up front.
Yeah.
So they should be very, very good. The defense is just where it all falls apart, though. Can't stop a nosebleed. I like the offense to be able to put up 24, 25 points a game. I don't like the defense to to hold up in most cases. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I like some of the draft picks, but I mean, those are still unproven young rookie guys that we haven't seen play yet. And the thing with the Lions, would it shock me if they got to first? No, because I think they are going to be a lot better than, at least somewhat improved from last season, and I don't think the Vikings are going to be as great as they were last season.
Well, the Vikings aren't going to go 11-0 in one-score games.
So, I mean, can you hear the argument for Detroit number one?
Absolutely.
Sure, but at the end of the day, we have to keep in mind that
it's
Detroit.
Yeah.
So, like, I think they'll get there eventually. I think they're maybe 1 to 2 seasons away from cementing themselves as a number one team in that division, depending on how Jordan Love looks.
Also, if they continue to make the right moves. Again, it is Detroit, so we've seen them not make the right moves in the past.
Except I think Dan Campbell has been really good for this organization.
Oh, I think he's been smart. Yeah, he's been a very, very nice coach.
As he continues to take over those reins, he'll get him to the one spot eventually. But I'm just saying, I don't think this is the season where that happens.
I would agree. So that obviously leaves the Minnesota Vikings at 10-7, definitely taking a step back from 13-4. Look, they went 11-0 in one-score games. That typically doesn't happen. I think Kirk's going to be very good. Justin Jefferson is going to be very good. I think there's going to be a couple plays here and there late in games where, like, first of all, their defense is bad. So there's going to be a couple games where their defense doesn't make that extra stop and they lose because of that. There's going to be a game or two, like at Philly week 2, prime time, that Kirk, he doesn't lose you a lot of games. He keeps you in almost every game, but about once or twice a year, he goes off the rails and completely loses the game, 3-4 picks, you know?
Yeah.
And he'll probably have 1 or 2 of those this year. Again, I still like Kirk Cousins. I usually bake that in when I think about it. I'm like, oh, because if Kirk didn't have those type of games, he would be a top 10 quarterback, no doubt about it. I think he is, but most people don't. I still think Kirk's very good. So they're still going to be a very, very competitive team. Obviously making the playoffs, by winning the division. 10-7, they'll host a playoff game, maybe even win one. But yeah, Minnesota 10-7 feels right to me.
Yeah, I like it. It makes sense. It's like one of the only. The only one with like pieces that have been proven that you can see that are going to do well.
I haven't seen Detroit
the rest of the
do
division.
I haven't seen Jordan Love.
The rest of the division is a complete question mark.
It's a bit of a dice roll. It's a bit of a dice roll of a division. To go back through, we have Chicago in the basement at 6-11, then Green Bay 7-10, Detroit at 9-8, finally Minnesota on top at 10-7. That is the NFC North divisional predictions.
Yeah. So now